Greetings and welcome. This is Don Bomb, the Hall of Fame Collectibles and more with our Hall of Fame biographies for today are episode 324 and episode 325, Deacon White and Soul White. We got the Whites on the spotlight today. And who's here so far? God is great, chimed in at 125. Hello, everyone. 126. Bernie said hello, Donald and Titus at 138. And Bernie at 2 o'clock says hello. Matty Ice at 2:01 says Titus, Don, and Bernie. And Bernie says hi to Matty. Thanks for everybody popping in here today. We could have a late, great entry. If it shows up during the stream, we will go to it. If not, it will be premiered tomorrow. My package is being sent by UPS, and it is scheduled to be here sometime between 11:45, which it didn't make it yet, to 3:45 this afternoon. So what I did have my wife say is if it shows up during my live stream, she's going to knock on the door and let me know, and I'll go down and get the package off the porch after UPS delivers it. So, and I was hoping we were back in time because my wife did go see her cardiologist today, and we just got back about 15 minutes ago. So we are going to have some fun. We only need 4 entries, and I think we got that covered. We got God is Great. We got Bernie. We got Matty Ice. So far, we've got 3 people here, which we'll cover. All we need is one more person that did not make it here yet. Hopefully. We'll see. We got God is Great, Bernie, and Matty Ice are the only ones I see in the stream at the moment. So we're going to go with Bernie H, God is Great, and Matty Ice cards as the 3, because we do have 996 entries. So this is going to be my late great edition here. This is going to be for the October-November giveaway. And we will be doing this giveaway this Friday. Or no, I think we're going to do it. I don't know. It's a work in progress here, but it's going to tie in with the case of Topps Holiday Mega Boxes that's coming in. It should be here anytime this afternoon. So that is what we got here. So let me get Bernie H in here. And Cops just made it in. You are our 4th and final entry for the October-November giveaway. Thanks for popping in, Cops. We got Bernie H. We've got Cops. We've got God is Great. God is Great. Titus. And Cops is Jonathan. Okay. And Matty Ice cards. And that will be our final entries to get us to 1,000 for the October-November giveaway. Okay? For the October-November giveaway. And then once my Topps Holiday Mega Case gets in, I will go over what we're going to do with that for our Christmas giveaway. That's going to be our Christmas giveaway and probably my last big giveaway until I start getting more viewers on the channel. I just can't keep doing what I've been doing for now without additional funding or more viewership showing up to the channel. So, again, we've got Bernie H. Cops, God is Great, and Matty Ice Cards. Finish it up. So now we do have all 10 prizes on the wheel. So everybody that has been here for October and November for this giveaway, we do have the wheel full with our 1,000 names. Again, I've got, as far as viewership on the channel, my next goal is 2,222 subscribers. So once we get to that, we will have our next big giveaway. Whether I get to it or not, I don't know for sure. But we are going to have fun either way. Either way. So we are going to do first, before we get into James Lowry White, Lowry, I think. And his nickname is Deacon White. That's why I put him in as Deacon White. And over here, King Solomon White, S-O-L. Okay? So we're going to do these two biographies, but first we've got a little bit of baseball humor here. A little bit of baseball humor for yesterday, Monday, November 24th. Our baseball birthdays for yesterday were some, you might recognize some of these names. At least I do, 3 of the 4. Baseball birthdays for yesterday, Monday, November 18th, is Jamie Moyer, Roy Sievers, Gary Sheffield, and David Ortiz, commonly known as Poppy. All right, our baseball humor for yesterday is a British visitor to Yankee Stadium, unable to understand the game, left as the scoreboard read. How many innings was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At the end of 9 innings, he didn't know it was probably not the end of the game yet. The British visitor to Yankee Stadium, unable to understand the game, left as the scoreboard read 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 for the visiting team, and for the home team it said 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. He said, so who won the game? And when asked by a kid outside the game, what's the score? The Brit shrugged and said, oh, it's up in the millions. Can you imagine that? Up in the millions. That's what it looked like on the little sheet I have here, as told by Paul Dickinson, baseball's greatest quotations in 1991. Everybody knows that means it's 1 run in the first inning, and the home team scored 1 run in the first inning. And at the end of 9, it was still tied 1-1. So, of course, the game continued on. He just thought the game must be over. Nobody probably told that Britain person that the game was not over yet. So that was pretty cool. Nice little bit of humor there. Nice little bit of humor there. All right. But what I will do here is we will take these points for whenever the next giveaway might be. No, we won't even do that. We are done for giveaways for this year. This will be the last one, the November 2024 giveaway. Okay? So, what we will do is, as soon as I know my case of 2024 Tops Holiday Mega Boxes, there's going to be 20 boxes in that case. 20 mega boxes. Okay? We're just going to have fun with the All-Star game for today's trivia, Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. You can choose to play, choose to have fun, do what you want to do, but we will have fun either way. And we will do it in style. Oh, let me turn the camera around so you can see me. There we go. You can see my smiley face for this part. All right, so it's the All-Star game. Okay, it's an All-Star game trivia question. There is one correct answer. You can just get the satisfaction of getting the correct answer if you get it correct, okay? So, name the first National League player to hit a home run in the All-Star game. So I'm assuming this is probably, looking at the names here, it's probably the first ever All-Star game that they did. Who was the first National League player to hit a home run in the All-Star game? Was it? Oh, and the baseball birthdays for today, Tuesday, November 19th, are Roy Campanella, Ryan Howard, Everett Scott, and Bob Boone. But for our All-Star Game trivia, name the first National League player to hit a home run in the All-Star Game. There's one correct answer out of the choices. A, Frankie Frisch. B, Bill Terry. C, Wally Berger. Or D, Pepper Martin. Anyone venture to guess who hit that first home run? Bernie says C. Nope, not Wally Berger. Not Wally Berger. And I will tell you that for the Topps Holiday giveaway, there will be people in the channel that have been watching on a regular basis. Okay? So, A. Yes, Bernie, you got it right the second time around. It was Frankie Frisch. Frankie Frisch is the correct answer there. Frankie Frisch. Named the first National League player to hit a home run in the All-Star game, and it was Frankie Frisch. Okay? You read the back to you here. It says A, 3 innings after Babe Ruth hit the first ever home run in an All-Star game in the inaugural 1933 game, Frisch, batting second behind Pepper Martin, took General Crowder's pitch deep to left for another homer. That brought the National League to a deficit of 3-2. They lost 4-2. The Fordham Flash was at it again in 34, playing second and leading off in the bottom of the first with a homer off Lefty Gomez, splitting his career between the Giants and the Cardinals. Frisch lashed 2,880 hits, won an MVP in 1931, and was voted into the Hall of Fame in 1947. That was pretty good. Awesome. Love those trivias, that's for sure. So we are going to do Deacon White first. Let me turn the camera back around so you can see. I was pointing at the table and I was like, they can't see that yet. They can't see that yet, but now they can. So we're going to do Deacon White first, and then we will do King Solomon White, okay, commonly known as Soul White. All right. So other than that, get everything up in the right spots here and prim and proper, and let's have some fun. Let me just look on my phone. I can actually track the UPS driver and see. Looks like he's not getting close to our neighborhood yet. Sometimes if our neighborhood UPS driver is very busy, it can take them a while. I don't know how they design their routes for UPS, but different than the way the post office did it for sure. Okay? So let's get into Deacon White's biography. Okay? So James Lowry Deacon White was born December 12, 1847, and passed away on July 7th, 1939, at the age of 91. He was an American baseball player who was one of the principal stars during the first 2 decades of the sport's professional era. The outstanding catcher of the 1870s during baseball's bare-handed period. He caught more games than any other player during the decade and was a major figure on 5 consecutive championship teams from 1873 to 1877. 3 in the National Association, in which he played throughout its 5-year existence from 1871 to 1875, and 2 in the National League, which was formed as the first fully recognized major league in 1876, partially as a result of White and 3 other stars moving from the powerhouse Boston Red Stockings to the Chicago White Stockings. Although he was already 28 when the National League was established, White played 15 seasons in the major leagues, completing a 23-year career at the top levels of the sport. In 1871, while White was the first batter to come to the plate in the National Association first professional baseball league, after compiling a .347 batting average over 5 NA seasons. He led the National League in runs batted, RBI, in its first 2 seasons of play, and also led the league in batting .387. Slugging, average, hits, triples, and total bases in a brief shift to first base in 1877. Give me a second here. I need to wet my whistle a little bit. Gonna grab a quick bite. No problem there, Bernie. All right. For 3 years afterward, he joined his younger brother, Will, a successful pitcher with the Cincinnati Reds and the Cincinnati Stars. In his mid-30s, he became an effective third baseman. When the toil of catching had become too great, it was a major force on the championship Detroit Wolverines team of 1887, batting .303 at the age of 39. Over a 20-year period of his career, White batted .312 and had more RBIs, 988, than any player except Cap Anson. Upon his retirement, he was among baseball's all-time leaders in career games, at-bats, hits, and total bases. He ranked 4th in career total chances at third base, fifth in assists and sixth in putouts and double plays. White was inducted to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2013. Early life. White was born in Caton, New York, the son of farmer Lester S. White, born in 1820, and his wife Adeline, born in 1823. The couple had at least 8 children. Oscar Leroy, born in 1844, James Elmer Melville, 1851, William, 1854 to 1911, Phoebe Davis, born circa 1856, Estella, born in 1858, George, 1862 and after 1939, and Haiti, born in 1867. They also adopted a girl named Phoebe Maynard, born in 1876. When they were in their 50s, White's ancestors likely immigrated to America during the colonial period. His cousin, Elmer White, also played baseball professionally as James's teammate in 1871. In March of 1872, Elmer was the first recorded professional baseball player to die. As far as his baseball career, White learned baseball from a Union soldier who returned to his hometown after the Civil War in 1865. His pro career began in 1868 with the Cleveland Forest Cities Club, at a time when no team was entirely composed of professional players. He earned the first hit in baseball's first fully professional leg, a double off Bobby Matthews of the Fort Wayne Kikiongas in the first inning of the first game in National Association history on May 4th, 1871. He also made the first catch. His long career allowed him to play with many of the legendary figures of the 19th century professional baseball. White played on the great National Association Boston Red Stockings team of the early 1870s and also played with Cap Anson and Al Spalding in Chicago, King Kelly in Cincinnati, Dan Brothers in Buffalo, and Ned Hanlon and Sam Thompson in Detroit, as well as Jake Beckley and Pud Galvin in Pittsburgh. Okay, I see. All right, give me a second here and I'll be right back with you. What are all these things dangling under my feet here? All right. In 1889, the contracts of White and teammate Jack Rowe were sold to the Pittsburgh Alleghenies, but the pair refused to report unless they were paid additional money, leading to a protracted dispute. Eventually, the two men were paid, with White telling a reporter, "We appreciate the money, but we ain't worth it. Rowe's arm is gone. I'm over 40 and my fielding ain't so good, though I can still hit some. But I will say this, no man is going to sell my carcass unless I get half." Complaints like this were part of the reason that the Players' League was formed in 1890. According to historian Lee Allen in the National League story in 1961, White believed that the earth is flat. He tried and failed to convince his teammates that they were living on a flat plane and not a globe. They ridiculed him. Then one asked to be convinced, and the deacon gave him an argument suited to the hypothesis that the earth is not really turning. He convinced the teammate, but the argument would not prove that the earth is not a sphere. While White's playing career ended after the 1890 season. Over the 20-year period from 1871 to 1890, White batted .312 and had more RBIs, 988, than any player except Cap Anson, and also ranked 4th in career games with 1,560. At bats, 6,624, and hits, 2,067, and total bases, 2,595. He also ended his career ranking 4th in Major League history in games, with 826 in total chances, 3,016 at third base, 5th in assists with 1,618, and 6th in putouts with 954, and double plays 118. White managed the minor league club Elmira Gladiators of the New York, Pennsylvania League in 1891, and he has been incorrectly credited with managing the McAllister Miners of the Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas League in 1907, and the Tulsa Oilers of the Oklahoma, Kansas League in 1908. Both teams were actually managed by Harry B. Deacon White. Okay. As far as family and a later life, White married Miriam Van Arsdale, born 1851 in Monrovia, New York, on April 24, 1871. For much of his career, they lived on his farm in Corning, New York, and they moved to Buffalo and joined the Bisons in 1881. Their only child, hold on a second here. Oh, okay. Appreciate that, Bernie. I got a notification from the post office already on that. Do appreciate you letting me know, though. Thanks, sir, Bernie. All right. For much of his career, they lived on the farm in Corning, New York, and he moved to Buffalo after he joined the Bisons in 1881. Their only child, Grace Hugson White, was born in Buffalo on September 8, 1882. The family moved to Detroit when White began playing for the Wolverines, but soon returned to Buffalo. By 1900, he was operating a successful livery stable there. Sometime after 1900, the Whites sent Grace to Mendota College in Mendota, Illinois, beginning a family association with the Advent Christian School, which would endure across multiple generations. By 1909, James and Miriam had also moved to Mendota, where they became the head residents at Maple Hall and Young Ladies Dormitory until 1912. On August 15, 1912, Grace married fellow Mendota alumni Roger A. Watkins at the dormitory. That year, the college had relocated 50 miles east, becoming Aurora College. Miriam died on April 30th, 1914, in Mendota. One of Aurora's students recalled of Ma White, she was of a cheery disposition, with a word and a smile for all, mingling with the girls as one of us, giving kindly counsel and encouragement. Her interest in each girl expressed in her own words. I am only doing what I would like to have someone else do for my girl. If she were away from home, words cannot express our appreciation of such a kind personal interest. Roger and Grace Watkins continued to be involved in the college and moved to Aurora in 1920. In 1927, Roger joined the college's board of directors, serving until 1971. But all the 2 years also as the board secretary. By 1930, Deacon White had remarried, and with his wife Alice moved into the Watkins home at 221 Calumet Avenue, next door to the college president. White died at age 91 in the early morning of July 7, 1939, at the Watkins' summer cottage in Rood Camp, the college retreat on the Fox River in St. Charles Township. Having been in good health, his death was attributed to a disastrous heat wave. He had been scheduled to be principal guest of honor at Aurora's celebration of baseball centennial the following day, and the festivities instead featured a tribute to his memory. While White had been greatly disappointed over not having been invited to the opening ceremonies of the Baseball Hall of Fame that summer, having been completely overlooked in the voting for inductees, his funeral was held at Aurora's Healy Chapel, and was buried at Restland Cemetery in Mendota. He was survived by his second wife, Alice, who had been staying in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, at the time of his death, by his younger brother, George, and by his daughter, Grace, in 1882 to 1956, and her husband, Roger, in 1888 to 1977. As far as his Hall of Fame information, in August of 2008, White was named as one of the 10 former players who began their careers before 1943 to be considered by the Veterans Committee for induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. In 2009. Although he fell short in final voting, he received the most votes of any player whose career ended before 1940. In 2010, the 19th Century Committee of the Society for American Baseball Research named White the year's overlooked 19th century baseball legend, a 19th century player, manager, executive, or other baseball personality not yet inducted into the Hall of Fame. On December 3rd, 2012, the National Baseball Hall of Fame announced that he was elected to the Hall of Fame by the new Pre-Integration ERA Committee, pre-1947, receiving 14 of 16 votes. He and 2 others elected by the committee were inducted on July 28, 2013, with his acceptance speech given by his great-grandson, Jerry Watkins, the son of White's grandson, Daniel. With over 166 years between his birth and the date of the induction and nearly 3/4 of a century after his death, White is the oldest person ever inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So there you have it. Let's go over his stats for his induction when he did finally make it in 2013. So again, White was a third baseman and a catcher, born December 2nd, 1847, in Canton, New York, United States. He died July 7th, 1939, at the age of 91, in St. Charles Township, Illinois, in the United States. He batted left, through right. His MLB debut was May 4th, 1871, for the Cleveland Forest Citizens. His last MLB appearance, October 4th, 1890, for the Buffalo Bisons. His MLB statistics, his batting average for his career was .312, 2,067 hits, 988 runs batted in, and his stats in the Baseball Reference, his non-MLB stats at Baseball Reference. His teams he played for, the National Association of the Baseball Players, Cleveland Forest Citizens, in 1868 to 1870. As a league player, Cleveland Forest Citizens, 1871 to 72, Boston Red Stockings, 73 to 75, Chicago White Stockings, 1876, Boston Red Stockings, 1877, Cincinnati Reds, 1878 through 1879, the Cincinnati Stars, 1880, the Buffalo Bisons, 1881 to 1885, the Detroit Wolverines, 1886 to 1888, the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1889, and the Buffalo Bisons in 1890. As far as his league manager roles, Forest City of Cleveland in 1872, and the Cincinnati Reds in 1879. His career highlights and awards: National League batting champion in 1877, 2 times National League RBI leader in 1876 and 1877. Again, he's a member of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, inducted in 2013. 87.5% of the vote. His selection method was the Pre-Integration ERA Committee. So there you have it. Deacon White, our first biography for today. All right, I'm going to put him off to the side here, file him back in my Hall of Fame postcard binder, and we will now move on to King Solomon White, or commonly known as Soul White. Okay, 1 second. Okay, he's always hard to find. Bear with me just for a second here. It to me the other day. Okay, let me there he is. I found him. King Solomon Soul White. So pre-Negro Leagues, 1887 to 1912, and the Negro Leagues, 1920 to 1926, and got inducted in 2006 in the Committee on African American Baseball. All right, so here we go with King Saul. Let me do one more check here between biographies. Okay, hold on. Let me start that. Okay, what's my computer? What's my... Oh, there we go. Updates. Yes, he is getting closer to me. He's coming back my way. Don't know if he'll get here by the time we finish. We shall see. We shall see. Okay. King Solomon Soul White. There's David, everyone. Okay. Really? Why is my computer being so goofy? Gurus in the house. Yoda Papa Vintage Americana. Right. So King Solomon Soul White was born June 12th, 1868, and passed away on August the 26th, 1955. Another familiar year. I'll leave it at that this time. Was an American professional baseball infielder, manager, and executive, and one of the pioneers of the Negro Leagues. An active sports writer for many years, and he wrote the first definitive history of black baseball in 1907. He was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2006. As far as his early life, born in Bel Air, Ohio, White's early life is not well documented, according to the 1870 and 1880 U.S. Census. His family, parents, and two oldest siblings came from Virginia. His father, Saul Solomon White, apparently died when White was very young. White's mother, Judith, supported Saul and four siblings with her work as a washerwoman. White learned how to play ball when quite a youngster. As far as his playing career, as a teenager, White was a fan of the Bel Air Globes, local amateurs. The journalist Floyd C. Calvin recounts the story of how White got a chance to play for his team. The Globes were playing a team from Marietta, Ohio, and one of the Globes players got his finger smashed, and since they all knew Sol, the captain pushed him into the game. And Sol always remembered that game for the captain, and a second baseman of the Marietta team was none other than Van B. Johnson. In latter years, president of the American League, and was leading. Hold on a second. I didn't work here, but. Oh, nothing. That one. Getting closer. Okay. Bill says within the hour. All right. And in later years, president of the American League and a leading sportsman of the West, Sol takes pride in having played against Ban when he was an obscure captain of a Hicktown club. White quickly made a name for himself as a ball player. By the time he was 16, he attracted the attention of managers of independent teams throughout the Ohio Valley and his services were in great demand. Originally a shortstop, White eventually developed into a great all-round player, filling any position from catcher to right field. In 1887, he joined the Pittsburgh Keystones of the National Colored Baseball League as a left fielder and later a second baseman. He was batting .308 when the league folded after a week of play. He then joined the Wheeling, West Virginia Greenstockings of the Ohio State League and batted .370 with a slugging percentage of .502 as the team's third baseman. In the offseason, the Ohio State League renamed itself the Tri-State League and banned black players, including White, Weldie Walker, an African-American catcher for the league's Akron club, wrote an eloquent open letter to league officials protesting the decision, and it was published in the Sporting Life in March of 1888, and within a few weeks, the ban was rescinded. White was resigned and sent to join his team on the road, but the Wheeling manager, Al Buckenberger, refused to accept him, and he was released. He joined the Pittsburgh Keystones and played in a colored championship tournament held in New York City, in which the Keystones finished second to the Cuban Giants. White spent 1889 with the New York Gorhams, a black team that spent part of the season in the Middle States League. White played both catcher and second base for the Gorhams. The next year, he joined the York Colored Monarchs of the Eastern Interstate League, a white-owned team that signed up most of the 1889 Cuban Giants. White played second base, hit .350, and stole 21 bases in 54 games. In 1891, he played for the Big Gorhams of New York, a team that he later called, without a doubt, one of the strongest teams ever gotten together, white or black. The Gorhams briefly represented Norwalk, Connecticut, in the Connecticut State League. In 1895, White batted .385 as a second baseman for Fort Wayne, Indiana, of the Western Interstate League. Later that year, White replaced Bud Fowler at second base on the barnstorming Page Fence Giants team, batting .404 as the Giants finished with a 118, 36, and 118 wins, 36 losses, and 2 ties record, and played in 112 towns in 7 states. White enrolled in Wilberforce University as a theology student in 1896, spending the next 4 years alternating between professional baseball with the Cuban X-Giants in the summer and college in the fall and winter. He was still listed as an athletic instructor at Wilberforce in 1900. After a year as shortstop for the Chicago Columbia Giants in 1900 and one last season with the Cuban X Giants in 1901, White moved to Philadelphia, where he co-founded the Philadelphia Giants. His playing time was gradually curtailed as he concentrated on management. According to research by Bob Davids, White spent all or part of 5 seasons in organized minor leagues, playing 152 games and hitting .359 with 169 runs scored, 231 hits, 40 doubles, and 41 stolen bases. Check something real quick here. Refresh here quick. Do one more of these. I see we've got 1 thumbs up. Thummies up, thummies up, thummies up for me. If I can't get the thumbs up, I can't get more viewers. All right. So as far as his managerial career, along with Walter Schlichter, a sports writer for the Philadelphia Item, and Harry Smith, a baseball writer for the Philadelphia Tribune, White founded the Philadelphia Giants in 1902. He served as the team's captain and manager. The Giants were at first paid on a profit-sharing cooperative plan, but in 1903, White reorganized the team and put all the players on salary. The Giants lost a playoff for the colored championship to the Cuban X-Giants and their ace pitcher, Ruby Foster. The following season, White signed Foster, outfielder Pete Hill, and second baseman Charlie Grant, and the Philadelphia Giants won a championship series from the X-Giants 5-2. Okay, oh, right, that looks much better now. We got 6 thumbs up. Chat hasn't shown up yet. All right. For 1905, White bought the home run Johnson of the X-Giants and made the Philadelphia Giants into what he considered the strongest organization of the time. The Giants went undefeated against the New England League teams and swept 4 games from the Newark International League team. The Giants played a total of 158 games, winning 134, losing 21, and tying 3. The powerful baseball promoter and team owner Nat Strong declared the 1904-1905 Philadelphia Giants the best team in the history of the game. Get a sip of water here real quick. Okay. More players' losses followed in 1907 as Ruby Foster defected to the Leland Giants of Chicago. But White brought the eventual Hall of Famer Johnny Henry Lloyd to play shortstop along with catcher Bruce Petway, and the Giants finished first in the National Association Colored Baseball Clubs of the United States and Cuba, an all-black league. This marked the 4th consecutive year in which the Philadelphia Giants claimed the Black Professional Championship. The Giants lost Pete Hill to the Lelands in 1908, and in 1909, Saul White left the team after a disagreement with Schlichter. White managed the Philadelphia Quaker Giants for a year in 1910. He was hired to manage the Brooklyn Royal Giants, but had trouble controlling some of the players and left after the season. For the following season, excuse me, Jess McMahon and his brother Eddie hired White to manage their new team, the New York Lincoln Giants. White assembled another collection of top players, including John Henry Lloyd, Spot Pole, Bill Francis, and in July of 1911, raided his old team, the Philadelphia Giants, for their star rookie battery, Dick Redding and Louis Santop. As a result, Schlichter could no longer keep the team running and disbanded it. However, White quit the Lincolns before the season was over and replaced as manager by Lloyd. White was next hired to manage the Bay Club of the Cuban League for the 1911-12 winter season. He brought along Ruby Foster and a number of American black players, but the team lost 5 of its 6 games, and White and most of his players were released. After a year managing an obscure team called the Boston Giants, White retired from baseball and returned to Bel Air. He returned to baseball to serve as secretary for the Columbus Buckeyes of the Negro National League in 1921 and helped bring in his old player, John Henry Lloyd. As a player manager, White then took on his last 2 managerial jobs in both Cleveland in 1922 and guided an independent club and Fear Giants of Cleveland, and in 1924 he managed the Cleveland Browns of the Negro National League. His last job in baseball was as coach for the 1926 Newark Stars of the Eastern Colored League. As far as his Negro League writings, Sol White is perhaps best known for writing History of the Colored Baseball, also known as on the title page as Sol White's Official Baseball Guide, a small 128-page soft-covered pamphlet. History of Colored Baseball was sold at Philadelphia Giants games in the spring of 1907. The first chapter, Colored Baseball, begins with the organization in 1885 of the first professional colored baseball team. Discusses the brusque removal of all black players from predominantly white teams during the next 4 years, and then traces the growing strength of colored baseball into the early years of the 20th century. This short book within a book is history, but it can also be described as an almanac, a scorecard, an archive, a who's who of African American baseball up to 1907. In addition to White's narrative of the history of black professional teams, the book featured chapters on colored baseball as a profession, the color line, and the manager's troubles. Among others, Ruby Foster, one of White's former players, contributed a chapter on how to pitch. And Home Run Johnson wrote a short essay on the art and science of hitting. The book was also illustrated with 57 photographs of players, manager, and owners, many of them found nowhere else. White's History of Colored Baseball was the first book devoted to black professional baseball, and it would remain the only one of more than 60 years until Robert W. Peterson published Only the Ball Was White in 1970. And today, only 5 copies are known to exist. Sol White's career as a baseball writer would continue with a series of articles on colored baseball in the Cleveland Advocate, a black newspaper, in 1919. After he moved to the East Coast in the 1920s, he wrote articles and columns for the New York Age and the New York Amsterdam News. In 1927, the Pittsburgh Courier reported that White has a new book he would like to publish, a kind of second edition to his old one, bringing the game from 1907 down to date. And if there's anybody anywhere in sports circles who thinks enough of what has gone before to help Soul print his record, he will be glad to hear from them. Without a doubt, this record will prove valuable in years to come. The second book on Black Baseball by Soul White never appeared. As far as his personal life, Soul White married Florence Fields on March 15, 1906. Their first child, a son named Perrin Walter White, named after Soul's older brother, was born later that year. A second son, a boy, died when he was only 2 years old in August of 1907. Perrin died of kidney disease on April 8, 1908. A third child, a daughter named Marion, lived to adulthood and survived her father. Florence and Soul White appear to have become separate at some point before 1930. When White was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2006, no family member was present. So Commissioner of Baseball Bud Selig accepted his plaque on the family's behalf. In September 2024, an Ohio historical marker was placed in Bel Air, Ohio, at the city park, Union Square, to remember the town's native son. As far as his death, White died at age 87 in Central Islip, New York. He was buried in an unmarked grave in Frederick Douglass Memorial Park in the Oakwood neighborhood of Staten Island, New York City, until 2014, when the Negro Leagues Baseball Grave Marker Project installed a new headstone at his burial site. He remains the only Hall of Famer buried on Staten Island. So, boom, that is our biography for Soul White. All right. Again, he was a second baseman manager, born June 12, 1868, in Bel Air, Ohio. He died August 26, 1955, at the age of 87 in Central Islip, New York, United States. He batted right, threw right. His debut was in 1887 for the Pittsburgh Keystones. His last appearance was 1926 for the Newark Stars as a coach. His managerial record and baseball reference is available online. All right, the teams that he played for is an extensive list. He played for the Pittsburgh Keystones 1887 to 1888 and 1892. The Wheeling Green Stockings Ohio State League in 1887. Some of these years overlap too, forward and backwards. The New York Gorhams, 1889 to 1891, the Cuban Giants, 1890 to 1891, 1893 and 94, and 1896. The York Colored Monarchs in the Eastern Interstate League in 1890. The Boston Monarchs in 1893. The Fort Wayne, Indiana Western Interstate League in 1895. The Page Fence Giants in 1895, the Cuban X Giants 1896 to 1899 and 1901, the Chicago Columbia Giants in 1900, the Philadelphia Giants in 1902 to 1908, the Philadelphia Quaker Giants 1909, the Brooklyn Royal Giants 1910, the New York Lincoln Giants 1911, the Boston Giants in 1912, the Columbus Buckeyes in 1921, the Cleveland Browns in 1924, and the Newark Stars in 1926. All right. His career highlights and awards in the Negro League Baseball: he managed the Philadelphia Giants to 4 straight black baseball championships in 1904 to 1907. He wrote the first book on black professional baseball, Soul White's Official Baseball Guide, in 1907. He's a member of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, inducted in 2006. The election method is the Committee on African American Baseball. So there you have it. Soul White, King Solomon Soul White. Okay. Yeah, check something real quick here. See if there's any way he's going to be here close. Okay. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to make it. We'll probably premiere and preview the first box out of this case tomorrow. Because it still says he's not going to be here till 12:45. Or no, 3:45. That's another 45 minutes from now. Kind of know where he's at right now, so. Could be close, but I don't know for sure, judging from the map. He's out in the country, the country area out near us here. Probably gone down some back roads. All right. Now we're going to get back to everything that's here. All right. We just got the same people in here. We got a little bit after 3:00, so we're gonna close up shop for today. I do have some other things to do. So that was Saul White's biography. So we'll put those back in the binder and get ready for our next two. For tomorrow, we're going to be doing James Hoyt Wilhelm will be tomorrow, along with J. Leslie Wilkerson, Kansas City Monarchs. I think he might have been the manager there for maybe quite a Kansas City Monarchs. Probably Lockin 99 might know something about this guy if he's a loyal Kansas City fan. All right. So that will be our next two for tomorrow. So let me change the camera setting around here. Get ready to say our signature goodbye, and we will see you all tomorrow. Again, between now and tomorrow, I will formulate and decide when we're going to do everything else. Chuck's in the house. How you doing there, Chuck? Yeah, but if not tomorrow, by the end of the week, I plan on doing the October-November giveaway. And then I will be putting a list together of all the baseball teams. Okay? And I will be assigning or choosing from my viewers what's their team. I do have my regular people that I usually send things out to, especially my Patreon members. I do have a few Patreon members still, not many. They're dwindling. I have a few, probably a little handful of, who do we got? We got Bernie and his son, and we got Faith, Family, and Sports. I got Cards in My Car with R. Posada. That's 4 teams, and then I have my various sundry other teams that I do have people assigned to, and we'll be going over that. I gotta formulate something that'll be before we start opening up the holiday mega boxes. Okay, we're gonna have fun with that. Christmas is we'll still do my 2-minute warning. We won't be giving no more entries. We needed 9 entries today. We made that. In case you're wondering, we needed 4. The first 4 people that came into the stream, they got those entries for being the first 4 to enter. So I'll be needing different teams for people and we'll start that tomorrow. We'll probably try and get the teams assigned before I start opening. So I will have something ready tomorrow. I'm gonna make a list initially of the teams that I've got assigned people to. Okay, and then the other teams will be open for grabs possibly, but we'll see. We'll have fun with it. The group that sent this case to me told me to have some Christmas fun with it. So we're going to do that, okay? Space Case says the Giants. I already have somebody that has the Giants, but we'll see if he's willing to trade. We'll see. But other than that, that would be cards in my car with Mark Posada. So here, I'll give you a quick update before we do. I'm trying to belabor it just in case we get close. Oh no, he's gone the other way. I see where he's at. Oh wait, no. It just depends on where he's driving. He was at the mule place, and now he's in that neighborhood. He probably drove right by my neighborhood. I don't know where he's going. But so I'll tell you some of the teams that are already spoken for. We got the Yankees, we got the Pirates, we got the Cincinnati Reds, we got the Detroit Tigers, we got the Oakland Athletics, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks, we've got the Chicago White Sox, we've got the Atlanta Braves, we've got the Kansas City Royals, we've got the San Francisco Giants, and I've got an Ohtani collector. Other than that, I pretty much have everything else open. So we will do that, and we will see how things work with that in mind. He's not that far if he makes it up into our neighborhood, but we will start it somehow, some way, sometime tomorrow. So we're not really going to do a 2-minute. I'm not going to be putting any entries into it December because the December giveaway is going to be the 2024 Topps Holiday Mega Box Case Extravaganza. Okay, and I'll go into the details of that as we move toward that. Okay, and I'll explain how that works. First and foremost, I want to put my 2024 holiday set together. Have a great evening, Donald, and everybody. Another great stream as always. Thanks, Bernie. Appreciate you, brother. So this is Don Blomdahl, Hall of Fame Collectibles and More. Having been live with our Hall of Fame biography, episode 324 and 325. We'll be doing 326 and 327 tomorrow. Some of them will be doubled up. It just depends on how long the biographies are, okay? But we will be finishing this year for sure. It's just a matter of when we can get everything done, squeezed into the whole process, and then we will go from there, okay? So we'll have more details on the Christmas holiday fun that could be starting tomorrow. We'll see if I get everything formulated tonight in preparation for tomorrow. So until then, you all take care. And as always, be blessed. You all take care, and we will see you around the channels, okay? Bye for now, and we'll see you again soon. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you then. Bye for now.